Hello, one and all. Welcome back to another really fun and always magical VTuber movie club. We're here with the lovely Nina Baton.
Bitten.
Baton. That's what I meant to say. Sorry, my.
You're doing great.
But yeah, we're here. We're back again with another VTuber movie club. The movie club podcast thing. I don't know what it is really, but where we just each month we get a set amount of movies and we watch them and then we discuss them. This is group 2 of VTuber Movie Club. We for I don't know how long, a lot of months now. We've done two groups because at first there was a lot of us that wanted to do it, but obviously as time has gone on, people have gotten busy and stuff like that. So we we have less and less people coming or that can do it each month. So this is going to be the last time, at least for now or for a while, that we do group 2. So we're going to just be going down to doing this only 1 month. But I'll also be throwing in like bring your own subscription during that 1 month. So technically, you get two movie streams for fun. But yeah, all right. But obviously, I should let you introduce yourself. I know I already said your name, but I guess you could introduce yourself again. Sorry.
It's alright. I'm Nina Beton. You guys seen me on this lovely podcast for a long time now, so I just don't need to introduce myself at this point much.
Yeah.
But it's nice to see everyone again.
Yeah. And it's always fun to for you to come on and talk some movies with me. So, but yeah. Uh Obviously, you know what movies we're doing this month. And the audience knows as well, but we're doing, or at least this week, I guess. We're doing Austin Powers, the first Austin Powers movie, International Man of Mystery, and then we're doing the Jordan Peele, the third in his trilogy, Nope. Have you seen either of these movies before?
I have heard of Nope before because of Logan's Paul shit review of the movie and
Oh yeah.
Austin Powers. I've seen clips of it, but I never fully watched it.
Oh, nice. So, well, luckily, both of these movies are pretty damn good. I like them both. So, for completely different reasons, because let's face it, these should not be actually compared to each other. But, but yeah. Um, Usually, like usual, we'll start off with a question, which obviously we will answer, but also like the audience can answer if they would like to, or if I've finally uploaded this to YouTube, people in the comments of YouTube can also answer. But today's question is, uh, if you were a supervillain, was because obviously Austin Power. Hi Murphy, thank you for the rat. Uh, Obviously Austin Powers is a spoof on James Bond, and they always have the most absurd, uh, freaking plans to take over the world. And so I'd love everybody to tell me what would be your guys' supervillain plan to take over the world, get rich. Like I don't even know your end goal. You could get take over the world, just get very rich, hold the world hostage. It could be anything and everything, and totally fun. And yeah, I would love to hear what will get us all on the FBI most wanted list. So, but also hello Spectre, yo, welcome, welcome.
Gotta collect everyone's crimes.
I know, right? We got to collect everyone's crimes, and then we'll do one big crime. FBI, we're joking. Don't worry, nothing's going on.
It's a slash J, everyone.
But yeah, have you? I don't. You said you always like villains and stuff like that. So have you ever thought of a fun villain plan?
Mm. I always saw myself as a henchman, so I never fully figured like a plan for that.
Well, today you're in the CEO seat. You're taking reins. You're the leader. So we'll obviously take a second because this obviously is a big question that
Yeah.
would take a second to answer, but we'll still keep talking in between it. But yeah. Also, like I said, chat, if you guys have answers, if you got your supervillain plan, we'd love to hear it. So obviously you could send it if you guys would like. But I don't know. I would definitely want to be more of a fun villain than like a very serious dark villain. So probably closer to Dr. Evil's plans. Um hmm.
Um, mm, I myself would probably be like also similar to Doctor Evil. I would just have a rivalry with like someone, just like a one-sided rivalry like that with someone.
You know what? Let's just, as Dr. Evil said, screw it. Why don't we let's just do what we always do. Let's get some nuclear weapons and hold the world hostage.
Exactly.
A very simple
Blow it up a
plan,
little bit.
but it works. It's very simple, but it works. So, well, kind of. A spy usually always comes in and ruins it or like stops you, but it's fine.
Sometimes the simplest solution is always the best one.
It really is. Uh, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, like his schemes are always very fun. I feel like. So I don't know. Maybe like probably just try blackmail, like like the world leaders or something like that. Just get a lot of dirt on everybody. I think that would be fun.
Hack into their Twitter accounts and
I
take their
know.
private ones.
Yep. And then just take all that information, and there we go. We're rich.
Exactly. And tweet something from their accounts. Why not?
Yeah. No, no, that leaves a paper trail. We can't do that. Well, an ad started while we were in the middle of this, so we'll probably get started with the slides after. But yeah, um,
Probably.
but yeah, I think there's a ton of like just fun plans. I mean, you can go either shucks, I got no good evil villain plan. I know, right? That one's more of just sit down and you got to think about it for a little while. But I mean, it depends on what kind of villain do you
Mm,
you want to be. Do you want to
yeah,
be just
depends on it.
Yeah, do you want to just be like the fun villain like Dr. Evil? Or do you want to go like Final Fantasy esque and basically just destroy the world? Uh, so there's many different layers when it comes to being a supervillain. So,
We can also do another question of if you could be an alien, what type of alien would you be?
true, we can do that. Yeah, what kind of alien would you want to be if you were an alien? Uh, I don't know. I would probably just be. I don't know if you've seen this movie, but it's called Paul.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Yeah, it's not it's very much a cult classic, or at least it's one of my family's favorites. But it has Seth Rogen voicing Paul, he's just a generic alien. He looks exactly like uh a normal like gray alien and stuff like that. So Spectre,
Nice.
do you have an evil plan? Is that what you said? Or are you thinking about it? Of course, while we're doing the presentation, you guys can answer and we'll read about them. But yeah. What kind of alien would you want to be, Nina?
Probably some insect looking one, because I
Oh,
think they will look very great.
okay. Are you a big Helldivers fan right now?
I've never seen anything gameplay
Oh,
wise.
you bat like apparently you battle like bug aliens. So
I gotta see gameplay now
it's
after the stream, of course.
all good. I haven't played it. I don't have the money to buy it, and also I don't know if I would enjoy
Same.
it too much. But both serious and fun villain. Is that what Spectre? Is that kind of the villain you would be? You'd be serious but also fun. You know, that's kind of Doctor Evil. His plan is very serious. He's just gonna like,
He has a fun execution with it.
yeah, like he's gonna destroy the world, but he's gonna have fun with it. Well, I think
Have
that
fun
was,
while it lasts.
yeah, as you do. Okay, I think that is a good warm up. And of course, if you guys do actually come up with a fun, like villain plans, we'll read about them. I'd probably have a Joker villain arc, not like Doctor Evil. Ah, okay, Spectre. What kind of villain? How would you be the serious and fun villain per se? But, and while you type that out, we'll get started with the presentation because we do have that. Otherwise, we'll sit here talking about being villains for about 2 hours. So, all right. Are you ready with the Are you ready to do this?
I am ready.
Okay. That's the $1 million question, Trey. I know, right? Okay. So I titled this one Nope. It's Austin Powers because I couldn't find the best way to put Nope and Austin Powers together. I don't uh or Austin I could have done Austin Nope or Nope Powers. I don't know. But we're gonna start off with
I
Austin
always
Powers.
misread. Yeah, I always misread Austin Powers as autism powers.
Oh, autism powers, no powers, no powers. Uh, but yeah, so we're gonna start off with Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. There is a subtitle to it, and that is not just like a tagline. Uh, but it was released in May 2nd of 1997, so it's definitely a very different time. And it was directed by Jay Roach. I don't know what else he has
Interesting name.
directed. Yeah, I don't know what else he's directed. I guess I can Google that right now, but power outage. Murphy, we're combining Nope and Austin Powers together. How do we,
I mean, there is a power outage and no, so
there
it
is,
fits.
yeah, it does. Okay, so I guess he did like Meet the Fockers, Meet the Parents, Dinner for Schmucks. Okay. He's worked on oh, did he do 50 First Dates? No, he didn't. Well, he was a part of it. I don't know what he did, but he's did some good movies, or at least worked on them. I don't know what he did per se. He didn't direct a lot of them, but this series is what he did to direct. So if there's no power, there's a power outage. True, but yeah. So he's worked on a couple different movies. Um, not all of them directing, but this is like he directed all three of these movies. So um, because if you didn't know this, Nina, this is a trilogy of movies.
Yeah, I saw while I was looking it up
Yeah.
way too long.
And I my favorite one of the three is actually the last one, Gold Member. That one I just have like a lot of fond memories of. Also, it has Beyonce as the James Bond girl, so I was all like,
Really?
yeah, she's very pretty in that. Didn't know all three movies are great. Yes, Murphy, all three movies are great. But we're starting off with the first one, Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery. The second one being The Spy Who Shagged Me, and then the third one being Gold Member. So, but all right, we obviously got to start this off with the characters because they're all very unique and interesting to say the least. Uh, of course, we're gonna start off with Austin Powers, who is played by Mike Myers. Uh, Austin Powers is an international man of mystery, otherwise known as a spy. In the 60s, he was what every man wanted to be and every woman wanted to be with. But after his nemesis, Dr. Evil, gets away, he cryo freezes himself so that he can be in there. He can be there if ever Dr. Evil were to return. Now in the 90s, he is seen as more of a joke and must learn the new time he is now thrust into. So, but yeah. What did you think of this being like your first time actually watching the film? What did you think of Austin
Yeah,
Powers as a character?
not my personal favorite main character. A little bit too horny, in my opinion.
He is. I mean, that's obvious. I don't know. Obviously, this is all playing on jokes of like spy movies and how horny like all of them are. He just kind of ramps it up to 10 or 12 really just to like really make fun of like how much like how horny the spies are in like media and stuff. So,
True. That's why I usually don't watch spy movies.
yeah. So, yeah. Uh it's definitely like especially some of the James Bond, like some of the older James Bond movies that I know, it's like it's insane what they like get away with or something like that. And yeah, they're just all very horny. It's kind of weird. Like
A
they
little
don't
bit too much.
a little bit too much. So Austin Powers is just kind of like that manifestation of okay, all these spies want to just, sleep with everybody. Let's just ramp it up to like infinity and that's like what he he mainly does. But unlike the others, he actually like respects women and stuff like that. So,
True. But that's what we need.
yes. You can be horny and you can still respect women. It's okay. But yeah.
A lot of
So,
men don't have that.
true. Very, very true. So, but yeah. So, and I mean, obviously, you can just tell by this picture, he is very goofy. He's not, he doesn't, he, I like his personality because specifically, he just has fun being a spy. Every other like spy media is all like they're so serious. Oh, we got to take this so seriously. But this dude, he doesn't care. He's just having a great time as he like foils people's
He's living
plots.
his life.
Yeah, he's living his life. So that is Austin Powers. So we'll move on to the next one. Vanessa Kensington, played by Elizabeth Hurley. Very gorgeous woman, I'll say that. But Vanessa is the daughter of Austin's partner from the 60s. Mrs. Kensington is her name. She doesn't have a character bio because she's in the movie like twice. Um, she is very no nonsense as well as follow the book to the letter when it comes to working for the Ministry of Defense. She must do her best to rein in Austin's antics and try to teach him to adapt to the 90s. So, yeah, she's the by the book partner that like kind of takes her takes her job very seriously, unlike Austin. So, and what did you think of Vanessa?
Even though she was little in the movie, I found her very pretty.
Yeah, she was very pretty. She's there a good amount, but obviously, the focus more is on Austin than her. So, especially since it's supposed to be him learning about like it being 30 years and so much has changed in the last 30 years from the 60s to the 90s. So, but she is a good
Someone's gotta
character.
teach him.
What's up? Sorry.
Someone's gotta teach him.
That's true. And she is the one that can do it. So, um, but yeah, so she's just like the by the book numbers. She knows what she's doing. And, she just, but she does get like taken in by Austin's charm because he did like even though he's very horny, he does have a little bit of charm. He makes her laugh. So And and from what I hear, that's the best way to get a woman to like you. Just make them laugh. So
I
they want to
agree.
have they want to have a good time with you. So, all right.
As a programmed woman, I agree.
Oh, hi Duke. Ignore my. It's all good, Duke. Welcome, welcome. Oh yeah, I forgot. I keep on forgetting to do this. Sorry. I can actually. Me. Go, and then obviously. And Murphy, I know you don't actually stream, but you know what? Here's another. Here's still a shout out for fun. There we go. No game. But yeah. So Kenzie, Vanessa's just like the straight man to Austin's antics and stuff like that. So, but yeah. Anything else you want to say about Vanessa? Besides that, she
Um,
looks good in the leather suit.
Nothing much. She's pretty bland personality-wise.
Yeah, which is kind of the point of her character. So, all right, here we go. Like obviously people love Doctor Evil. Fan favorite right here. Let's go. Doctor Evil, played by Mike Myers again. Yes, if you couldn't tell, Austin and Doctor Evil are played by the exact same person. Um, but he is the nemesis to Austin Powers. Dr. Evil puts his actual business in the hands of number two, while he creates plans to take over the world. Back in the 60s, he pulled off many different evil schemes, leading to him freezing himself in space for 30 years. In the 90s, he returns to a booming business, but decides to hold the world hostage with nuclear weapons. So, but let's face it, Doctor Evil he's a character. I love him. He's very he's just very funny on how evil he is and stuff. So, but obviously, this being your first time watching this movie, what did you think of Doctor Evil?
It was hilarious. I loved seeing him on screen every time he popped up.
Yeah, and
Obviously, he was my favorite.
yeah, and he's just I don't know. He's just funny. Uh,
I mean,
he's
look at
not.
him.
I mean, yeah, just look at him. He's adorable. Um, in this first one, I don't think he. I mean, he is still outrageous, but I don't think he's as outrageous as he is in the second and third one, where they kind of just take his character and take it to 10 or 12, and especially once a certain character gets introduced. That if you've watched this series, you know who I'm talking about. They get introduced in the second movie. Um, and basically he's just like the nemesis. He is also like the he's just as outrageous as Austin Powers, so they're like very much the antithesis of each other. I don't know, yeah. Or like they're very similar, but they just have different goals. Obviously, Dr. Evil wants to be evil while Austin wants to be good, and vice versa. So, but they both are just like very
We are
outrageous.
not so different, you and I.
Yeah. I mean, what the very first thing you see Doctor Evil do in the movie is literally kill all of his like partners, right? Oh wait, no, that's when he
Mhm.
returns. Actually, kind of is the very first thing you see him do. Because what
Close
all
enough.
yeah, it's close enough to like the very first thing he does because like all he did before that was get into the like into the rocket ship, and that's about it. So it is the very first thing you actually see him do. But yeah, overall, just a fun character, and yeah. We'll go more into like his character and his motivations later on, but yeah. Anything else you want to say?
We can move on.
Okay. Okay, we got two more characters. One of them is really not that significant, but I wanted to add them anyway. But before that, we got number two. No, it is not number two from Codename Kids Next Door. It is number two. Thank God for the shout. Oh, thank you for the shout out. Of course, Duke. But yeah, number two is played by Robert Wagner. Um, who actually, now that just realized who Robert Wagner is, and actually is interesting. But uh, anyway, number two is Dr. Evil's right hand man. While Dr. Evil has gone in space for 30 years, number two makes VirtueCon Industries, Dr. Evil's business, a booming enterprise which makes $4 billion each year, I believe. Number two also is the one who must adjust Dr. Evil to the 90s, especially when it comes to his evil plans, since most of his suggestions have already happened the last 30 years. So, um, but yeah, so basically number two is Dr. Evil's Vanessa. He's the straight man to Dr. Evil's antics and all that. So, um,
The serious, cold, brooding guy to the
yeah,
haha funny man.
yeah. And he's the one that's he's all like, do we need to do evil schemes? I mean, we're already like a booming business. We make like 4 billion in profit each year. Uh and like I said, there sadly we don't have the scene. Um I don't believe we have the scene. Uh I did this last night, so I don't actually remember. But there's an entire scene where Dr. Evil is giving suggestions on what he like his evil plan should be since he's back, and every single one of like the he goes through three of them or two of them, I forget. I think he might go two or three of them. Actually no, it's two, and then the third one he's like screw it. um but each one of his plans that he suggests already have happened in the last 30 years, which is just funny. So and like I said, he needs to adjust Dr. Evil to the 90s since he's been alive for the last 30 years. So, but yeah. What did you think of number two? Is it,
He was alright. A little bit boring for me, personally.
yeah.
He's just there to teach, nothing
Yeah.
much.
Well, he does have one very memorable moment at the end of the movie, but uh and that's about it. But he is just kind of he's there. Um I guess he has two memorable moments when he's like when he keeps on shooting down Dr. Evil's suggestions, and then at the end of the movie. But um, he is just kind of there, but he is fun, I'll say. Especially in the once his character gets better, like is a lot better in the second and third one, as you see him more. But yeah,
I'll
uh,
hope so.
yeah. Oh, I guess that's also a bit of a spoiler. Sorry about that, Nina. He doesn't actually die at the end of this movie. He comes back.
Don't worry, don't worry.
Okay. And then on to the last one. This is a very minor character, but I had to just add her for the name alone. Her name is Alada Fagina, played by Fabiana Udinio. I can't. I'm sorry if I butchered that name. But she's number two's personal secretary. She goes out with number two to the casino when Austin first approaches number two. She then later seduces Austin so that she can figure out who he really is. And she just has just an absolutely amazing name. So, but
her
I
looks fit the character, fit the name.
yeah. And obviously she's a very minor character. She's really only prominent in two scenes. Obviously the first being the casino and then when she seduces Austin. Um but I don't know. I just needed to give her a character like slide just for her name. Um Obviously I probably should have done like Frau or something like that, but Frau is only very prominent in the second and third one than the first one. Kind of the same with a lot of these characters, but yeah. And that's about what's up? Sorry.
Exactly, is what I said.
Oh yeah, yeah. And but yeah, so she's just fun. If you can't tell, once again, this is a giant spoof on spy movies, and in particular, this like they go with this running gag throughout all, at least the first two. I don't really know if there's someone that outrageous of a name um in the third one, but it's a running gag mainly just because some of the James Bond like girls have the most insane names. The one that I always remember is Pussy Galore. I don't know if I don't know if you've
There's
ever
such
heard
a
that.
name as never. Trust
Yeah.
me.
Uh from what I don't know if that is an actual James Bond name. I've just heard that phrase somewhere, and it's just always like it's just so dumb of a name that I was all like, "What?" Uh and nope, it is an actual character. It is in Goldfinger. Her name is Pussy Galore. In the 1959 novel Goldfinger with the same name in the 1964 movie. So yeah, that is her actual name, and obviously after that, Austin Powers just had to really joke around with it. Let's face it. And the first one being a lot of vagina is amazing. In the second one, the joke name is Ivana Humpalot, and she is Russian. So, but yeah. So, any
Lovely
thoughts
name
on?
collection.
Oh, sorry. What's sorry about that? I accidentally cut you off. What's up?
It's alright. I said what a lovely name collection we have.
Yeah, and it's just funny to be truthful. Um, but yeah. Any final thoughts on a lot of vagina? I'm probably gonna say that a bunch. So
Probably. But she was fun for the little screen time she had. She had like the right amount.
yeah. So she did have the right amount of screen time. She wasn't in it too much, but she was at least memorable because you can't really forget a name like that. So all right, we'll actually get started on the clips finally. The first one just being titled 30 Years Later. So basically, Austin Powers is the world's best spy, and chases his nemesis, Dr. Evil, to 30 years into the future after both Austin and Dr. Evil cryogenically froze themselves in the 60s. I think it was 1967, and they wake up in 1997. While both get unfrozen, they must both get used to life in the 90s, a completely different time to the 60s. And yeah, that does gloss over what happens in the beginning a little bit. Like we get to see Austin Powers be like kind of suave and see how popular he is in the 60s. Um and then obviously he goes and freezes himself. And then so this is basically Dr. Evil is back, everybody knows it. And so they have to unfreeze Austin Powers now. So yeah. So we'll actually get started on it. Also, yes, the audio is going to be a little bit low just for copyright reasons. So, but yes, as any good American does, we always have to remind the British that we helped them out in WW2. I, I will say the two other people we see cryogenically frozen really date this movie: Vanilla Ice and Gary Coleman. I know who both those people are, but I'm pretty sure no young person knows who those two are.
I know Vanilla Ice from JoJo, if that counts.
Maybe, I don't know. I've never seen gotten that far into JoJo. I didn't know Vanilla Ice was in it. I hope it is just Vanilla Ice the rapper. Um, or I don't know. Is he technically a rapper? I guess he's a singer. I guess I don't know.
Some kind of singer.
Yeah. This is just like this. Obviously, is just very. It's like a joke thing of like unfreezing somebody. I also like the warm liquid goose phase beginning. So it's also just funny that, you know, three military people are just watching this process go through for no reason.
They're just there for the sake of it.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. What did you think of this scene? Well, did you find it funny, or did you think some jokes went on a little bit too long, or
Some of them a little bit, but I think it was a great introduction to like the movie. I got
yeah.
interested, got me hooked even.
I mean, this is just a classic joke. And now that I've seen this, like, because I've seen this movie tens of times. I don't know how many times over the years. This joke is a little bit long. It still gives me a good laugh, but it is a little bit long. Um, but it's still a fun one. Just fucking he just can't stop peeing because he's been fucking frozen for 30 years. Well, and the voice say like being able to like stop while saying evacuation complete and stuff is just funny, which makes me think of the same thing as the last section. Though I will say, one of my favorite jokes is in this one particularly is the Russian intelligence one. Finally, those capitalist pigs will pay for their crimes, eh? Hey, comrades. Oh, maybe smashing, yay, capitalism. I don't know. That joke just always gets me, just because it's all like, oh, okay. He wanted the communists to win, apparently. This scene does do a good job of like, I mean, we already got introduced to Austin, but we get to see, you know, we get to learn a bit of like we get to see a little bit more of Austin and stuff. So
And his personality and everything.
yeah, but she shags like a minx. But yeah. And I don't have the next scene, but the next scene is very memorable as well with the dumb Swedish penis enlarger. pump.
at the same time experimenting with mind-expanding drugs in a consequence-free environment,
I'll be sound as a pound. But yeah. It's just a fun introduction to the movie. I mean, this is very close to the start of the movie, and we get to actually like fully see the jokes that kind of end up happening. Oh, Spectre, what do you mean by what? Do you mean are you saying what to the Swedish penis enlarging pump? Because if have you not seen this movie, Spectre? Oh,
How dare he?
wow. What did I come into? Wow, everyone's just coming in at the wrong time where I'm talking about fucking. It's a.
And that's what he said.
I say. I say. Yeah. We're talking about Austin Powers, and he just woke up. And I just wanted to bring. There's a joke in the next scene that I don't have. I don't have the clip of it, but there's a joke that in his personal effects, Austin Powers. Yeah, I did saw the movie all through. Okay, I just wanted to make sure, Spectre. But there's a joke where in his personal effects he has a Swedish enlargement pump, uh, and yeah, basically he tries to say it's not his, but it actually is. So it's just a dumb joke. Wow. Overall, it says what did you think of the scene in the end, Nina? So
It was a fun introduction for me and actually got me to continue watching. I
that's
thought it was
good.
just gonna be a boring comedy one.
Well, I'm glad it was able to, you know, kind of hook you into watching the movie. So we'll go on to the next scene because this one was a little long. We won't play the clip again, but we got Boy Meets Evil Father. Boy Meets World. Here's the off-brand or the spin-off show. Basically, so Dr. Evil gets some big news after returning to Earth. Turns out, before Dr. Evil left to go to space, he left some DNA so that if he didn't return, they could make an evil son to take his place. And Frau got a little impatient, so she sped the process along. So now, uh, I misspelled now, I put no. So now Dr. Evil gets to meet his son. So, and yes, his son is Seth Green, Chris Griffin himself from Family Guy. So,
You said if it didn't look like you were coming back, we should try to make you a son so that a part of you could live forever.
I think this is a very memorable
Years we
scene from the movie. Like
Dr. Evil, I want
uh
you to meet your son.
just how much
Yeah.
Scott does not love or just hates Dr. Evil.
Hello, Scott. Hi. I'm your father, Dr. Evil.
This I don't know. The comedy of this is just how stiff Dr. Evil is meeting his son. I guess he didn't expect to have a son coming back, but like and he just wants to like, oh my god, I have a son, I love you. And it's just like, and I think it just gets funnier as the movie goes on because Dr. Evil slowly just starts hating Scott more and more. Also, immediately after, uh, just immediately after figuring out he had a son, he goes into a full dad mode. I'm with it. I'm hip.
Me like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug. Hey, touch me.
Probably the best scene in the movie.
Yeah. Did you? What did you think? I know we didn't have a character card for Scott, and we probably should have. But what did you think of Scott?
Said if it didn't look like you were coming back, we should try to make you a son so
I
that a
liked his
part of you
dynamic
could
with
live
his
forever.
dad, like in this scene that's just showing right now. It was just
Yeah.
funny seeing them together.
Yeah. And I'm assuming you liked this scene a lot.
Want you to meet your son.
Yeah, I did.
My son?
Yeah.
But yeah, just like, and I don't. If you haven't seen the rest of these movies, you under like Scott just hates Dr. Evil throughout all of them. They have just a funny dynamic.
I'm your
Um,
father, Dr. Evil.
and especially that dynamic very much
I haven't seen my
gets
full
even worse in the second one
back and just
when a certain character gets introduced.
I hate you.
um, and it's funny because Dr. Evil just loves the new character more than he loves Scott. So
Give me a hug. No way. Come here. I'm not coming over there. Let's go. Forget it.
But-
Pronto. What are you doing? I'm with it.
I'm with it.
I'm
I'm hip. I don't know why he goes into doing the Macarena of all things.
I guess he was popular then.
I mean, maybe it was popular in the 60s. I don't know.
Like I'm frickin' Frankenstein. Give your father a hug. Hey, touch me.
But yeah. It's just a dumb scene, but it is a funny one just for like, oh, okay. You immediately understand their dynamics of the show. Welcome, welcome. Haven't seen Austin Powers, tuning in now. Let's go. Maybe this will make you want to watch the movie. But welcome, welcome. All right. Anything else you want to talk about with this scene? I know I didn't get I didn't ask what your thoughts of the scene were in total. I know you said it was funny, but
Very fun overall. I enjoyed like it made me like Dr. Evil even more, and I
Mhm.
liked how stiff he was doing the dancing part.
Yeah. It is funny how stiff he is through that entire scene because he's usually not, but they really did that well. So,
Remember when
of
we
course.
called you Sim?
All right. And then next up, our next scene is I too like to suck at cards. So basically, more in the movie has passed, obviously, but Austin and Vanessa start to infiltrate VirtueCon, and their first target is number 2, who just so happens to be playing cards in the casino with his personal secretary named A Lot of Vagina. But turns out, while he might be a great spy, Austin is a terrible card player. And so, but that's about, there really isn't that much setup. They figure out that they go to Las Vegas because obviously they figured out that's where or not Austin Powers, that's where Dr. Evil is. So they have to like go and blend in. It really does show how like much the like fashion industry changed from the 60s to the 90s. I don't even know if like people in the 60s actually did wear that outfit, but he just like stands out in this whole crowd. So yeah, okay. I'm like, does it get through the whole scene? But I just realized it said eye patch X-ray. So does that mean he's just wearing an eye patch for fashion purposes?
Yeah, pretty much.
So because obviously how else is he seeing? But oh yeah, the dumbest joke. That just reminds me of Back to the Future, mishmash of culture, past and present. Yeah. Well, so the entire plot of the movie is that he's a um spy from the 60s that then ends up in the 90s. So he has to learn about the 90s now from the 60s. Oh yeah. And this is my wife, Oprah. I don't know. I think I like Vanessa's look. Oh, sorry, one sec. We gotta hear the name, obviously.
sorry, I'm just not getting it. It sounded like you said your name was a lot of, Never mind.
Never guessed that plot line. Cool, cool.
What exactly do you do, Mr. Number Two?
That's my business. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have to go to the little boy's room.
You keep your eye on the Italian bird. We'll rendezvous back at the hotel suite.
But yeah. I don't know. I think this is just I think this is a great moment for Austin as a character again. We get to see how much of a dumb spy he is. So, what did you think?
I think the scene was alright. I mostly just enjoyed the costumes they used in the scene.
The costumes are great. I like Vanessa's dress. I like all of it. Like I like Vanessa's dress and a lot of vaginas. And then I just love like the little ruffle thing that Austin has on and stuff. So
It looks very cute on him.
I will say I think one of the like funniest parts of the scene is when he says Oprah, and then you see Vanessa like take a second and then realize what he said, and then like kind of look at him weird and be all like, "Wait, what?" Because obviously, I'm sure all of us know Oprah now. The you know, having her own show and everything like that, and obviously Vanessa looked nothing like Oprah, so
I'll just pretend I know who that is.
oh, do you not know who Oprah is?
No, never heard.
Okay. So she did a talk show. It was literally just titled Oprah. But she was well known for like always giving gifts to guests, and like I don't know, have you ever heard of the like people go, and you get a car, and you get a car, and you get a car, or something like that?
I have, yes.
Okay, that's where the phrasing comes, because she would usually like give out gifts to the guest, or like her like studio audience, and so that's kind of where it came from. I guess she just said it a bunch. But yeah, she's also like a very big I don't opera singing in contrast to the name. But she also is like a very big like charity person, if I remember, like very generous person, and I think she also like supports reading and stuff like that, and tries to like show off writers. But yeah, there she is just like a big talk show person. So
She seems like a very kind person.
yeah, so that's kind of what she's known for, I guess. But the joke being is that Oprah is, you know, an African American woman, and then Vanessa is like really white. So that's kind of where the joke comes from. So but yeah. And we obviously get to see Austin just suck at cards, like just be bad at like something. And it's a have you ever watched any like James Bond movies or anything like that?
No, never got into them.
Okay. Well, so it's kind of like in like spy movies and stuff, it's always like they make the person, like the spy, always really good at cards. Like they'll do something that they shouldn't do and still win. So that entire scene is just a joke off of that. So like they'll be all like, "No, you shouldn't hit," like kind of what like number 2 did, how he hit on that 17. Uh like that's what the spy would do in like normal spy movies, to show that they're so cool and can outplay anybody even at a disadvantage. So they took that as a why don't we make fun of that and have just Austin Powers be absolutely terrible at cards. So, but
A very good choice of writing.
yeah. And so next up, one of my favorite scenes, mainly because we get a nice celebrity cameo. Sadly, she has passed away, but we do get a nice celebrity cameo, which we'll see in a second. But we got finally a good villain backstory. Dr. Evil and Scott's relationships is totally hostile. So to help them truly connect and be closer as father and son, they both decide to go to group therapy, where we learn some rather interesting facts about why Dr. Evil became evil in the first place. So, also, I know there was like 2 typos in there. Whoops.
And say the words.
I love you, Dad.
I love you, Dad. Uh,
I love you too, son.
but we get a fun Carrie Fisher cameo, who most people know is from Star Wars. She plays Princess Leia. Sadly, she has passed away, so it's a little sad. But she is like a
Unfortunate.
yeah. She was a big comedy actor. She's been in a lot of comedies and stuff over the years, and she's very funny. So,
What brings you here with us today?
Well, I just really met my dad for the first time 5 days ago. I was part
and
of
this is kind of like the start of just throwing in these big name celebrities in these like 3 movies just to be in it for like 2 minutes maybe at most.
when I die.
Who's gonna take over the world when I die?
Over the world when I die. Feels like that to some of us.
I love this scene just because it's like
Do you want
we know Dr. Evil is actually trying to take over the world, and in the therapist's mind, he thinks it's like a metaphor, or she thinks it's like a metaphor or something, when he in truth is just trying to, he's just evil, and he is trying to take over the world.
I just think like he hates me. I really think he wants to kill me.
Now, Scott, we don't want to kill each other in here. We might say that we do sometimes, but we really don't.
Actually, the boy's quite astute. I really am.
I'm trying to kill him.
So far,
Unsuccessfully.
This is what I'm
I
talking about.
I like the little smile he does there. Like he's like a little, he's all like, "Oh, I'm proud of you for dodging all of my assassination attempts."
Life are quite inconsequential.
Yeah.
Oh, no, please, please. Let's hear about your
So I know you love Dr. Evil. So was this scene like really fun for you, just to see him like go all ham with his backstory and stuff?
I did. I think he's like the first villain to go to therapy, actually. So I find
Hmm.
it even more fun.
Yeah.
My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like
Well,
he invented the question mark.
well, and like so many, I know they're like
Chestnuts of being lazy.
throwing it. They're obviously making him have the most tragic backstory in why he like
My childhood was typical.
is evil. And it very much works for his character, because like I don't know, in some spy movies the reasoning behind them being evil is like
At the age of 12, I was
really dumb. And so it's kind of nice just having him be like, oh, he was just kind of raised evil, he was beat all the time. It's actually all tragic.
scrotum. It's breathtaking. I suggest you try.
But there is a reason.
You know,
Yes, there is a reason. So I do like that after he is done speaking, she's all like, you know what, we gotta stop for today, sorry.
That's too much even for me.
I know, right? I am a full-blown therapist with who's probably heard some messed up shit, but the years was a little bit too heavy.
say hello to Scott and his father, Mr. Evil.
Evil, actually.
I do also like that the therapist tries to be all like, evil? Even though it's blatantly just written out as evil. Like,
So, Scott, why don't we start with you? What brings you here with us
But yeah.
Well, I just really met my
And it also shows that Scott doesn't necessarily want to be evil. He wants to, he kind of wants to be his own or do his own thing.
Scott, who's gonna take over the world when I die?
Listen to the words he used. Who's going to take over the world when I die? Feels like that to some of us sometimes, doesn't it? So, what do you want to do, Scott?
I don't know. I was thinking I like animals. Maybe I'd be a vet.
And I will say, I think a lot of people have said like have like joked around about like supervillains and stuff like that just needing to go to therapy. So it's actually very funny that they do have Dr. Evil go to therapy. It just doesn't do anything to him though.
Actually, the boy's quite astute. I really am trying to kill him, but so far
Cuz I feel as though a lot I've heard that a lot with villains is like people would be all like he literally just needs to go to therapy and I think he'd be fine. And Dr. Evil just does. He just is evil. So,
the details of my life are
Like, it doesn't help much, does it?
no, it doesn't help at all. He's all like, I do not care. As we find out later in the movie, I think I actually do have the clip of that, so I won't explain it. We'll find out later what happens to the therapy group.
Belgium with low-grade narcolepsy and a penchant for buggery.
Penchant for buggery.
15-year-old French prostitute named Chloe with webbed feet. My father would womanize, he would drink, he would make outrageous claims like he invented the question.
Well, and so
Sometimes he would
obviously we're not doing the second or third movie, but I know at least in the third movie they actually do bring up this backstory again, and it has a it has a payoff to it. So
At least they didn't just throw it away.
yeah, no, it like the third movie it actually has a purpose, and it's like it's actually a big part of the plot. So definitely give at least that one a good watch if you would like to. If you enjoyed this first one. The second one's good too. I also very much like the second one. But I think Gold Member is my favorite. So, but yeah. So, any final thoughts on this one? On this scene?
Well, we already said everything.
Okay.
So we can move on.
Okay, I do have two clips here. They're both like a minute and a half long, so that's why I have two clips here. And it also is like a major jump between both stories. So, learning for both good and evil. So after a big fight with Vanessa, basically the big fight boiled down to Austin. As we brought up earlier, Austin goes to a lot of Vagina's penthouse apartment to like snoop around and learn about what Dr. Evil's plans are. He gets seduced by a lot of Vagina and sleeps with her. He is a spy, so you know that's kind of expected. But Vanessa finds out and basically gets very upset with him, and so they have a big fight, and so that makes like Austin like very sad, and so he goes off and realizing that he isn't the like sex symbol slash like spy that he used to be in the 60s. He decides to learn about all he has missed in the last 30 years. And basically after this they make up and infiltrate VirtueCon, but they get captured. And yes, I sorry, but I did not add the steamroller clip, which is very memorable. People remember that one specifically when they think of Austin Powers. But I did not add it, sadly. And they get captured, and Dr. Evil decides that he's going to put them in an easily escapable death trap and just assume that everything goes to plan and assumes that they're dead. So that's kind of how that goes. So, is there anything else? Is there anything I missed story-wise? Well,
I don't think so. You explained it very well.
Okay. So, but yeah, so the first clip we got is Austin, like, in his somber state, learning about the everything he's missed. Also, the music's very nice. It's Burt Bacharach in this first movie. Each soundtrack is very good, but I like that they make fun of him for doing a peace sign. I do a peace sign all the time. I don't know, like, I didn't know it's not cool anymore to just do peace.
People don't find that cool anymore?
I guess not. I don't know. Well, that's the joke that they were going with. Oh yeah, and him not understanding what a CD is.
Imagine not knowing what that is.
Well, I mean, in the 60s, CDs weren't a thing. You had vinyl, and that was it. Maybe an yeah. I can chat that CD. Yeah, that CD's not working. But yeah. Now you see, kids, what she has in her hand is a VHS. I don't know if you guys know what that is. It basically is like video. It's like a CD, but in tape form, and you had to rewind it whenever you finished. And also, it does degrade over time.
I miss VHS tapes. They were
Yeah,
very fun to have.
I still have a few of them.
I still have some. I still have some saved as well.
I know it, Spectre. Good. I'm just saying that as it's more or less a joke. I'm pretty sure everyone in chat knows what a VHS is. Finest of audio quality and visual tapes will always be amazing. Also, hello, Bagheera. Hope you're doing good. But yeah. I get it. Oh yeah. So yeah, you know the joke that British people just have bad teeth? They just make that joke throughout this. So they just make that joke throughout this movie. So
I mean, I'm not surprised for that.
yeah. Well, especially he's from the 60s, so like dentistry isn't what it was back like in the 60s. So but yeah, so that's why I actually feel bad for Austin anytime like people bring that up, or like you'll see that Vanessa brings it up a few times, and each time his reaction is actually like it kind of shows that he is insecure about it and stuff like that. Like he'll use his lips to cover his teeth so that you can't see them after he said like someone brings it up. But yeah. And then I will say specifically with that scene we just watched with the bass, there is something funny before that in the scene when I'm thinking while they're like talking to Dr.Evil, they talk about how, or Dr.Evil says that he wishes that he just wants sharks with frickin' laser beams on their frickin' heads. There is a payoff to that also in the third movie. So
nice.
Yeah, which is just very nice. But instead of shark, they have genetically mutated sea bass. So which is just funny. Which actually kind of goes back to because the reason they can't get sharks is because they're on the endangered species list, which kind of goes back to earlier in the movie when Dr. Evil was trying to give suggestions on what he should do or what their evil plan should be, and each of them gets shot down. One of them being that he has developed a laser that will poke holes in the ozone layer, increasing skin cancer and heat. So basically, you know, what we already had, what we have now. So just like, climate change and stuff like that. But, yeah. All right, we'll watch
He
the
didn't even need to do anything.
He didn't even need to do anything. It already happened. We'll watch the Seabass one more time before we go to the next scene. But what did you think of both of these scenes?
They weren't my personal favorites, but I think they were like needed in the movie to keep the plot together
Yeah,
and to actually give character development.
yeah. Especially the one where he's learning, like Vanessa said, she forgets that he's missed the last 30 years, and like as an audience member, you also kind of forget that because it just time skips to the 90s. So you forget that he missed 30 years, which is a long time in society. Um, so it's actually kind of sad. And then him actually needing to learn everything about it. But and then of course, the second part is a joke on every spy movie where the supervillain just puts them in a very it's not even just spy movies. It's just like any like movie with a supervillain. They put the hero in some easily uh like escapable situation and they just assume that he died or they died. So they're just making jokes on that. And then I do like that they joke about all the dumb puns that heroes make after killing somebody. And then my favorite part is Vanessa being all like, okay, that's enough. And then they just leave. And he's all like, yeah, I get that. So, yeah. Any final thoughts on this scene? Also, chat, you guys can say whatever you want on the scenes as well if you guys got opinions on the scenes. But yeah.
I personally like the backgrounds used in the second scene. I think they're
Yeah.
very pretty and the colors are very nice.
Yeah. It is very
Like the
nice.
orange and the dark blue are beautiful decorations.
Mhm. It definitely it's definitely like a fake like layer, but it is still fun, like with what the colors and stuff that they did. So being in like a mountain face. So yeah. So those are those two scenes. We only got I think we got like two or three more scenes of Austin Power before we're done with Austin Powers. So I think three actually. They're not long scenes, that's why there's more than usual. So this next one I titled It's About Mojo Baby. Uh Knowing that they are going up against Austin Powers, Frau decides to create the greatest weapon to best Austin. Fembots. Female robots that are as deadly as they are good looking. But Austin has a secret weapon of his own against them. His mojo. We need some Betamax movies to really see those anymore. I have I don't have a Betamax, but I have a fuck, what was it called? What's the one that looks like a record but is actually a movie? I have one of those. It looks like an like it looks like a vinyl record, but it's actually a movie. Laserdisc. That's what it was. But yeah. All right.
I've got to get Dr. Evil. No, baseball, cold showers, baseball,
Ball sours.
Margaret Thatcher,
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
Margaret Thatcher naked on a cold day.
Well, I only wanted to add this scene just because I think it's fun. I don't know what you thought of it, Nina, but it's like the dancing scene.
This was my least favorite scene to look at. I'm way too horny.
Too horny.
Yeah.
Well, it's
How
I don't
dare
know.
they put my fellow robots in a bad light.
Indeed. Jeez, I stepped away, but yes, Laserdisc are even harder to find. I do have a Laserdisc. It's of Blazing Saddles, one of my favorite movies, so. Yes. I just love this. I don't know. This scene's just dumb. But I love the song. The song's actually a good song in general. And then, I don't know, like, how how he tries to be like sexy even though he's, you know, he's Austin Powers. He has some sex appeal, I guess.
He has more cute appeal than sex appeal.
True. So, well, and also, you know, one thing I do like about these movies is they also, like, unlike a lot of others, like in spy movies, they do show off Austin a lot. Like, they make sure to also, like, sexualize him and not just the women that are in the movies. Legendary film, Blazing Saddles. Yes, I love Blazing Saddles. So. But I don't know. I kind of like when movies do that. Like, at least if they make them both equal, it feels a little better. And also, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to keep talking. You're up.
All good. I just said I like to see it in the movies.
Yeah. Well, and I think the Austin Power movies are great because, you know, like, Mike Myers isn't like a buffed out guy. He's just a normal guy. But he'll still do full on, like, I'll go into my underwear scenes and stuff like that. So, this part's gonna be like the hardest the hardest part on YouTube copyright because the songs, but it's fine. Also, I do like that he tries to not get a boner by yelling these things out. And I think most men have done that before or needed to, like, think of something else not to get horny. So,
Must be a struggle.
oh, oh my. Look, there's just some situations where you gotta think of something. You gotta think of baseball or something like that. Something that won't get you horny. I don't know. I think the reason I like this scene is just because it's just a joke. It's just a complete joke. It's not supposed to be taken seriously in the slightest. So, but it's okay. He's wearing his socks, so he has protection.
Yeah, he's fully protected.
He's fully protected. He's wearing his socks. But I don't know. It's just dumb as all hell. And so it always just gives me a funny, like, a good laugh. But also I do like the song a lot, so. And also this like joke that he uses his mojo against fembots is, like, also a running gag in most of them. So I do also like that they have one of the soldiers, like, be very interested in him, like, just, like, looking at him and being all like, ooh, he likes him as well. And while it is a joke, like, I don't, it's not like like, I don't know, it's not in bad taste, I would say. Oh, what's up, fellow? But yeah. I personally like this scene. It's not going to be everyone's favorite, but I get it. All right. The next one is The 60s Isn't Dead. This might actually, I don't know, is this the last one? This might actually be the last scene, actually. I forget how many I put in
Already?
here. It might be, yeah. A lot of these were short. Like, these two movies don't have long clips at all for some reason on YouTube. And it takes a lot for me to be able to, like, just screen capture them and, like, use those. So, but the 60s isn't dead. Austin and Vanessa stop Dr. Evil's plans and go to keep him from escaping. Dr. Evil does what he can to reason with Austin and throw him into despair, telling him that now the things that he loved in the 60s are now considered evil in the 90s. But Austin has a counterpoint. So, also, there's going to be once again another YouTube copyright thing with the frickin' song playing. It's going to be very annoying trying to get through this part, or get through this on the VOD. But yeah.
Just gotta mute.
I like that he's like, oh, I tripped. Like, Dr. Evil can't even...
The wind of the explosion.
Yeah.
The wind of the explosion is too much.
I know, right?
It blows away.
Well, I like that Dr. Evil can't even escape, like, in a nice fashion. I also like that they literally have a guy just reading it out. They don't have, like, obviously nowadays that would be like an automated thing, and not, we don't need to have somebody sitting there counting down, but it's funny that they actually still need one.
At the time they did.
Yeah. Meow mix deliver. I want to know how much Meow Mix paid for that to be, like, have their little thing, like their jingle set in the movie.
Must be a lot.
Probably.
Swinging parties are all now in the 90s considered to be
Evil.
No, man, but we swingers were rebelling against the uptight squares like you, whose
I like,
money and
I don't know, I like this little speech that Austin Powers goes into. So it's a lot deeper than what this movie, you would think in this movie.
It's freedom, baby.
Yeah.
face it. Freedom failed.
No, man, freedom didn't fail. Right now
They went from a comedy to an actual serious topic.
I know, right? Just like the idea of, though I do like that even in the 90s they were making fun of hipsters.
It seems the tables have turned, Mr. Powers.
Go ahead, Austin. Don't worry about me.
Hey, I can take my Sega, right, Dad? It seems the tables have turned again, Dr. Evil.
Not really.
Not really. Kill the little bastard.
But Dad, we just had a breakthrough in group.
I had the group
Let's see what I care.
But I do like that they bring up group again, and I also once he like well, let the whole thing play out. Screw it. I don't know. I just like, it's funny that they bring up the therapy group again and finding out that Dr. Evil just basically killed the group because they were like against him. It's just, I don't know. It's funny to me. And then I just also love Austin's, like, if you look at Austin's look on his face when Scott like gets away from him and is like running away, he's all like, oh man, he just feels bad. He's like, he just feels like he got into like the middle of a weird argument between a father and son. And of course you have to have the last second abort
It's so comedically dramatic. I love it.
It is. Well, I mean, it's just it makes fun of like every action movie ever made where it's all where some kind of bomb or something's going on. They have to like last second, yeah, and like finally like get it to go like finish it off. What were your thoughts on this like scene? I know it's not the most memorable, but
I think it's very memorable because I saw like a clip with the kill the little bastard, see what I care. Like I saw that constantly for me, so I was surprised I was from here.
it yeah, that part it is funny. Sorry, I mean to.
All good. I took a long pause anyway, so understandable.
But yeah, no, I think it's just funny. It's just dumb. And also, yeah, it does do a weird like change um from it does just have a weird change from the comedy we've been seeing to like the seriousness of like the thought provoking of the 60s like going into the 90s and stuff.
Not really. Kill the little bastard. See what I care.
Kill the little bastards, see what I care.
I had the group liquidated, you little shit. They were insolent. I hate you. I hate you. I wish I was never artificially
My-
created in a lab. Oh, Scott, that hurts, Daddy, when you say that. Honestly.
I do like that he when Scott gets upset and runs away, he's all like, "Oh, Scott, that hurts, Daddy, when you say that." After calling him a little shit and a little bastard, I don't know. That's just funny to me, personally. But yeah, that's basically the end of the movie. The end of the movie has it that Dr. Evil escapes into space again. I think yeah, escapes into space again. He blows up the lair just like any villain does. And then basically they win, they save the day, and Austin and Vanessa get married. So, oh yeah. Though spoiler alerts, Nina. I don't know if you're gonna watch the second one, but there is a spoiler that I could say.
Give me spoilers.
Okay, well the spoiler is that yeah, while at the end of this Austin and Vanessa get married, it's revealed that Vanessa is a fembot.
Oh
And
my god.
yeah, and then she like explodes, and so that's how they that's the dumb way that they go on the trope of that each movie James Bond has a new woman that he has to go after. And so they're all like, "Oh, he got married. Okay, she's a fembot, and she's gone now. So now he's single again." So
That was kind of funny.
yeah, but that is Austin Powers, International Man of Mystery, or at least most of it. Um, Personally, I love it. I've loved it since I was a kid. I think it's very funny. I actually don't think it's aged that poorly or anything like that. Um, there may be a joke here and there, but other overall, it's actually very like it's it hasn't like aged poorly or anything. Or at least I don't feel like. And I think it's just a fun time. Don't take it too seriously. It is a spoof on all spy movies, but yeah, still a great time, and I love the second and the third one as well. So, what are your final thoughts on Austin Powers, Nina?
A fun, dumb movie overall, but it didn't hook me enough to continue watching the rest of them, unfortunately.
Yeah, I can see that. It's it's not gonna be everyone's bag, but you know, if you like comedies and you like just dumb movies, like it's not a bad series to enjoy. And like I said, I don't think it's aged poorly. I think the worst joke, or like the one joke that like aged poorly, was him punching Basil's mom. And then but even then it was like established earlier in the 60s as a thing. So Uh, but yeah, that's probably like the worst joke. But anyway, that was Austin Powers. I don't know if ever. I hope you guys enjoyed that one. We got one more movie to go through, and it's going to be a completely different change of gears. We have Nope by Jordan Peele. Yes, the legendary Jordan Peele, who has done Get Out and Us. This is his third movie in that his like horror trilogy. That is a trilogy right now. I'm sure he's making even more. Um, but this was released July 22nd, 2022, so it is very modern, unlike the 90s uh from frickin' Austin Powers, which was it's almost 30 years old then. Um, but yeah, so are you ready to get into Nope?
Born already.
Okay. Have you seen any of other Jordan Peele's like things, even just as like sketch comedies or anything like that?
I haven't, but I think I will after this one.
Okay. So yeah, if you want to keep on the horror ones, he's done Get Out and Us. I've seen Us. Us was amazing. I think it was better than Nope. I think Nope might be like his least strong one, but even still, this was still a very very good movie. So like, uh, but he is well known for being part of a comedy duo named Key and Peele. Have you ever? I don't. You haven't seen that at all? You might
No,
have.
never heard of.
You never heard? Okay, I would highly recommend watching Key and Peele. Very fun. It's completely different from his horror stuff. But both Key and Peele are very funny. And they make some very interesting sketches. Um, one of their most well-known ones is the substitute teacher um skit where Key play his name is Keegan Michael Key, but they go by Key and Peele. But Key basically plays a substitute teacher, and he's a teacher from like very like tough schools where like metal detectors and stuff like that. And but he's like he's visiting a very um like I don't know, just a different kind of school, which isn't as I don't know how to describe it. uh but is just a different school, and he goes through the lists of names, and he keeps pronouncing everyone's name wrong and then getting extremely upset when they try to correct him. It's probably their most one of their most favorite famous skits, but yeah. But yeah. So this is one of the duo of that. Sorry, that was a long explanation of saying that he was a comedian and now he does a lot of horror stuff, but he still does comedian stuff as well. But yeah,
I'll make sure to give it a watch for the other two.
yeah.
For the skits.
And they're only like 20-minute long episodes, and they have like a bunch of shorts in them. So, um, okay, so we'll start off with the characters. Obviously, I think we only got like 5 characters. There's not many. There's like 5 or 6. Um, there's really not many. Um, oh yeah, it that is okay. Wait, this I can't believe there's a dumb connection between this and They both bring up Oprah in
Surprisingly.
in both movies. They bring up Oprah. I just realized that. So there is a weird connection between the two. Um, but starting off on the first character, we got O.J. Haywood, played by Daniel. I'm gonna very much butcher this name, and I'm very sorry. I think it's pronounced
Also,
Kaluuya.
I don't like not also not related to the thing, but I love that your chat recognized my profile picture.
Oh yeah, this is the Warframe.
Yeah. Anyway, you can continue.
Yeah. But yeah, he's a very great actor. He's been in a few different, quite a few different things. I think he's been in each of. Has he been in? He might have been in each of Jordan Peele's movies. I played for electronic music many moons ago. But his character OJ, which yes, they even acknowledge that someone taking the name of OJ, which I think is actually very nice if you understand what that means. But OJ runs his father's horse ranch after he passes, training the horses to be able to work on movies. While trying to find a horse that escapes one night, he sees something in the sky that looks just like a UFO. So he decides to get the first ever real footage of a UFO and get on Oprah. They call it they switch between the two. They call it the impossible shot and the Oprah shot. And that's basically them trying to get the first ever real footage of a UFO and stuff like that. He's a very fun character, I think, and has tons of different layers to him. What did you think of OJ?
I love this character. I love that he is not very good with people and not like a people person. Well, he's
Mm-hmm.
great with animals, which helped him figure out the alien as a whole.
Yeah, I was also gonna bring that up. I very much like that. I very much like that. It's like just this kind of he has just like he doesn't like talking to people. He finds animals easier and horses easier. Um I don't have the scene. I don't believe I don't have the scene in here cuz there wasn't many scenes for this movie because it is so new. But they do in the opening he's like uh after his father has died, he basically is trying to like do a commercial with a horse, but nobody's really listening to him even though he's the animal trainer. And obviously listen to your damn animal trainers if you're going to work with animals on a movie or commercial or anything like that, because yes, even though a horse is pretty and majestic, one kick's going to kill you, so be careful, and they get spooked. So um but yeah, so just kind of he's a very interesting character to say the least. Well, anything else you got on? Okay, yeah, he was in Get Out. Okay, sorry, I'm look. I wanted to make sure. Yeah, Daniel. He was the main guy in Get Out as well. So
Good to know.
yeah, I just needed to make sure before I officially said that. He's not in Us, but that's all. Us is very good as well. I liked Us a lot. But yeah, so anything else we want to talk about on OJ before we move on? Well, I guess we should talk about the one thing about. Do you know why they brought up the name OJ in the movie, like early on when they first introduce him?
I don't think so.
Okay, so the reason that they bring it up, on why it's interesting that he has the name OJ is because there was a football player, back in the day, uh, who went by the nickname OJ or the Juice, and he was an African American man, and he basically he was it's hard to explain. Basically, he was separated or had already been divorced by his ex-wife, and during this time, she gets killed. She got killed. This is a real. This isn't like a story, a made up story. This actually did happen. She died. She got killed by somebody her and her new boyfriend got killed. And it basically everybody, uh, they couldn't prove it, but everyone believes that OJ killed his ex-wife and her like boyfriend or just friend. I don't know what he was. Um, and so that name, like OJ, the name of OJ has been like kind of not like people don't use that like nickname anymore because of that specific reason. He did get acquitted, but a lot of people still believe he did did do it. Also, hello emo. I have furniture to build. Hell yeah. Um, but yeah, so that is why in the beginning of the movie when they say OJ, uh, and like one of the guys gets surprised that he goes by OJ, that's why they brought it up.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
actually very interesting.
yeah, and so I actually I actually very much like that Jordan Peele did use the nickname OJ just specifically because I think once again it has bad connotation now because of that whole case and it's not a nickname that's used that often anymore because of that reason. But it's also been like 20 years or so. And so it's kind of nice that Jordan Peele is trying to like take back that nickname. I don't think, and it's not, and obviously he's not trying to make you forget about the incident because he brought it back. Like that's why people were. He didn't like go into full detail just to not put people in the wrong mood, but he still acknowledges that. Um, he still acknowledges like the bad connotation that it has now. So I kind of that's why I was all like when I first watched it I was very surprised that he did use it. Um but I was also like, you know what? Good for him for like trying to um why didn't that shout out correctly? Whatever. But yeah. So I just thought that was interesting. Sorry, I knew that was a little bit of a long explanation for it. So, yeah. We'll now move on to the next character, who is Emerald or M Haywood, played by Kiki Palmer, uh, who's best known for like some Nickelodeon shows and stuff like that. I think it was True Jackson VP was like where she got her start on Nickelodeon. Um, but she's the sister to OJ. She returns to the ranch after the passing of their father. She has had a ton of different jobs, with none truly sticking with her. After also seeing the weird occurrences at night, she decides to team up with her brother to get footage of this UFO. So, what'd you think of them?
I found her, she ended up being my favorite character. I liked her personality. It's very energetic, and find her very beautiful.
She is very pretty. Um,
I
and
love her style of dressing.
yeah, she has a great style throughout the entire show or entire movie. I don't know why my shout out's not working for emo, but emos should be have a
Night body bugging.
yeah. Uh, but yeah, so basically, she is very cool. I like her a lot. Um, she's kind of just that like free spirit in the family. Um, and she's like had a ton of different jobs. And still like she cares about her brother, but she obviously had a lot of issues with her father, who her father is Keith David in this movie. I don't have a character sheet of him, but I love Keith David, so I gotta mention him at least once. Um, and so yeah, that's kind of like her thing and stuff like that. So, but she's a great character. And I think her and OJ's relationship are very much like it is a very well written brother sister relationship, whereas in others it's like I don't know, like other movies aren't written as well as these two are as siblings. So
Yeah, others feel way too forced and nice, while these two actually feel like they have beef with each other.
yeah, they'll make fun of each other, but they still love each other and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But yeah, and that is M. So next up we have Angel Torres, played by Brandon Pereira. Angel meets the siblings when they come to buy surveillance equipment from the place he works. After going to the ranch to set up the equipment, he comes to know what they are trying to do, and even though they don't ask for it, he comes to help the siblings film. So I kind of like I didn't know if I was gonna like Angel in the beginning, but I in the end I kind of did, and especially because I don't know he was a little weird, but I like that he became like the third of their trio and stuff like that to like want to video this strange like UFO and stuff like that. So and he quickly like believes them and doesn't think they're crazy. So what did you think of
Like
Angel?
he's seen it for himself.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do like his characterization. Like it's hard to hate any character because they're actually all like pretty decently written.
Mm-hmm.
But he was fun. Not my personal favorite, but I see why people would like him.
Yeah. The siblings are my personal favorite. I think they're very well written. So he's not my like he's not my personal favorite as well. Um but he's not a bad written character. None of these characters are written badly. So yeah. So we'll go on to the next character. We got Antlers Hoist. Interesting name, but he was played by Michael Wincott. He's a famous director of photography, different than a director, that meets the siblings at a commercial shoot that didn't end. That didn't end well. The one that we already kind of mentioned. After the siblings enlist his help to get the most impossible shot ever done, he uses all his skills as a videographer to film the elusive UFO. And so, yeah, he's not in the movie much until the end, but he is. His voice is very memorable, like very deep and gruff or rough, and and he's not in it for long, but he's pretty memorable, I would say. So, but yeah, what did you think of him?
He kind of reminds me of the Logan brothers with a certain forest incident because he would just give away his life for just for the picture of the UFO.
Yeah, like he kind of just yeah, he's like I'll do whatever it is
Whatever I
like
want, whenever I want.
yeah, he's like I'll risk my life to get this like one shot that no one else in the world has ever gotten and stuff. So
Even though he already had it recorded, but alright.
yeah, that part's a little bit muddled, and we'll get into that later on when we talk about the ending. But it's fine. It's fine. Okay, so we got one last character to go over before we officially start the clips. There's 7 of them, roughly like 3 minutes each. We'll watch them a couple times. So, but we got Ricky Jupe, I think is his name, like his nickname, Park, played by Stephen Yoon. Who I love, Stephen Yeun. He was in The Walking Dead. He played all of a sudden I'm blanking on his name. Glenn. He played Glenn, who was just like a very big highlight of the show. And he's done obviously he's in Invincible and so many other things, but he's an amazing actor, and I've always very much enjoyed his acting. But him as a character, Ricky, is a child actor who now owns a cowboy themed tourist destination located next to the horse ranch. Ricky went through a very tragic experience as a child, and because of it, he comes to have a warped point of view of the whole experience, collecting anything he can about the incident. So, loved him in The Walking Dead. Same. Bagheera, same. He was amazing in The Walking Dead. So, but yeah, he's a Ricky's an interesting character because he clearly is very much traumatized by the whole experience he went through, but he also has this weird fascination with it. So, and I think he's just like a very interesting character. What did you think of him?
I find him a little bit delusional, like him saying to himself that he's the chosen one, that he can like survive anything because of the traumatic experience before as a child. Like just because he accidentally survived the monkey incident doesn't mean he will survive this. He's a little bit stupid but lovable.
Yeah. He definitely is delusional, and I think that's supposed to be his character, is that especially we'll see what we're talking about. I don't know if I don't know how far the clip goes into it, but we'll talk about it later on. But he is definitely delusional in that sense. Um but he is still a likable character. Um and he did a great job acting him. So like, that's always something you got to bring up. So, all right. Are you ready to get into the clips? We got like 7 of them, I think. So,
Ready as I'll ever be.
cool. So, starting with clip 1, we got, well, that's an opening. OJ helps out his father training horses for the movies, but because of one random occurrence, small things rain from the sky and just so happen to land right on the ranch. Luckily, no one gets injured, right? And so we'll just click it. Yeah,
Definitely.
yeah, definitely nobody gets injured. But yeah, I also like that OJ has a flip phone. For a second, I was all like, "Is this?" For a second, I was all like, "Is this not in current? Like, is it like maybe early 2000s?" But no, he just has a flip phone. Actually, it's actually kind of nice that it has, this is like the only clip that I could find of this opening scene, but having the script on there to like there too is pretty nice. And this is basically the like start of the movie, like literally just the start of the movie. So there's not much to actually. There wasn't much of a summary that I had to do. So, you this I feel as though this opening is very memorable because like I don't know, it kind of jumps right into what they're gonna do and stuff like that, and gives you hints about the UFO and everything. So, yeah. What did you think of it?
I think it was a great like tune in into like the series and giving it like what the hell just happened and just giving it mysteries.
Yeah,
A great introduction.
yeah, I think so too. Also, it's Keith David. I don't know if you know it, who Keith David is, but has a very memorable voice. He's done plenty of voice acting and is also just a very prolific actor. So I know him mainly from Princess and the Frog and Community because he was in the final season of Community.
I usually don't know actors by names, but nice.
Yeah, but yeah, it is a like. I started this like I knew it was about aliens, but I didn't think this was gonna be the opening to the movie. I thought it was gonna be a very slow opening, and then this happened. I mean, it kind of gets a little slow after this, but even then, it's not. It's still engaging. Um, But yeah, it's just and it's literally just random chance that nothing hits OJ. Like, he just so happens to have nothing hit him during this whole scene, which is scary to think about.
What else? What else? Uh-huh.
And this is the one of the reasons I would never want to like, I like living close to like civilization and cities, because if something like this happened, you're not gonna be able to make it. Like, obviously they did not make it to the hospital in time, and so that's like one of the concerns and why I don't really ever want to live somewhere that's not like populated. Yeah. And it's actually rather terrifying. He gets killed by just a quarter. Just a corner that fell down from the sky, and that's what killed him. Something that usually would be seen as harmless got killed him. Gotta head back from lunch break, but keep it up. I'll leave you running my iPad. You all stay awesome. Be back around in a couple of hours. Sounds good, Big Ear. We won't be too much longer on this, but I will be back on streaming later today as well. I just gotta get some stuff done. But yeah. Just a very memorable opening, I would say. So
Yeah, it focuses that human inventions can be deadly no matter how small.
yeah. And so, but yeah, very, very rough opening. So next, so this is a little out of order. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. The next two clips are out of order. The clip after this is supposed to go before this one. But I kind of wanted to add this one first, just so that we have a glimpse of the UFO. Because I couldn't find a clip of the first time OJ sees the UFO for whatever reason. I could like there's just no clip of those, so I kind of had to put these out of order so we can see it. But what's that in the sky is what I titled it. And OJ and M are hanging out one night when one of the horses goes crazy and escapes the ranch. After chasing it, OJ sees something in the sky, something that was only thought of to be fake. So, with the help of his sister, they go to work trying to film the unfilmable. So, but yeah. Like I said, this is out of order. This is technically after about the clip that we're about to see, but yeah. I will say I do very much love that they don't like hide they kind of hide the UFO. You only see quick glimpses of it, but you still get like a ton of like shots of it even early on. Whereas a lot of other movies like try to hide what it looks like. So
It showed enough to make us worried and interested to see the full thing.
yeah.
I like it.
I did too. And I love that like the line it's in the clouds. And then like it's terrifying. It's kind of like flying Jaws per se. Like it has the same feel as a Jaws. So and then of course the praying mantis like covering the camera so they can't film it. Yeah. And this also
Use of nature.
oh sorry, yeah, what's up?
Yeah, it was a good use of nature to actually like keep it tense.
It was, yeah. And like and it is fun because like this is totally something that like just a random praying mantis would do. Like just be like, oh, it just so happened to be on the camera at this moment, so you can't film it. So, yeah. But like I was saying, it kind of feels like Jaws, if like the shark could fly, which is actually really cool. I like that feeling, like you get that uneasiness that it could be anywhere kind of thing. So
Exactly. Also, I like that they made it act more like an animal than an intelligent supernatural being.
yeah. So a little bit of spoilers with that, but don't worry, we'll get into what we mean when we get to the scene. But yeah, like there we got like you see a very clear shot of what it is. So like it looks exactly like a UFO. So but just like usual, we'll watch the clip one more time, maybe just a little bit of it. We might not go through the whole thing, but yeah, it's just like it's terrifying if you think about it. Just like there's not much, like unless you're under a building, you can't really hide. I also, this scene kind of shows the behavior of the UFO before it gets fully explained on how it kind of works. So, which I don't even like, even after having watched the movie, I don't fully understand how it works, but it's fine. Also, just like, oh,
Like an animal.
yeah,
Yeah, just like an animal was like similarly to a peacock. Like they use their pretty looks to attract others, but instead of for breeding, they use it for food.
yeah. Well, and this scene also shows like what happens when the ship comes near. All the like electricity and stuff in like a certain area gets turned off. So like that's why the camera is still working, because it's just outside the range of it. So it's fun because it both takes the tropes of like alien spacecraft, what like oh, the electricity like basically like gets all messed up and like goes out and stuff like that, and then there's a part that will there's a part of it that isn't like how it is, so it kind of takes the tropes and changes some of it but keeps some of the tropes the same, like in alien movies. So it's fun, keeps it refreshing.
Oh, puts a little spin on it. I
Yeah.
love it.
Also, eats horses, or like it kidnaps horses is what I meant to say. So, but yeah. So, and then once it goes away, the lights and like the power is able to come back. So, but yeah. All right. So, like I said, this is out of order. This scene takes place before the scene we just saw, but I wanted you guys to see the UFO before we actually got into it. So this one I titled "Nope, Nope, Nope, Leave Now," because this one, like when I watched this, uh, I did do bring your own subscription when watching this one, so I was watching it on stream, and I just so happened to be like, oh, I had gotten a text, so I like answered it, and then I look up, and it took me a second to realize what I was seeing, but as soon as I saw it, I freaked out because it was so creepy looking. Um, But anyway, so OJ, after seeing the UFO for the first time, decides to use the horses to draw the ship out so they can film it. But when he goes to check on the horses, he gets the creepiest visitors known to man and should definitely run right now. So, yeah. This scene just got me. I don't know. Oh god. Me actually like watching it from the beginning. God, that's terrifying. Ugh. Sorry, it's a little I know it's a little dark on the actual like on the recording, but this whole movie is pretty dark because it takes place at night. But I do like that he's all like, nope, nope, and starts running away.
Oh my god, he said the thing. He said the title.
He did say the title. I mean, I think every character says it like at least one, like, or at least both M and OJ do. But yeah, no, this is a situation like you take the picture and then you run. So yeah, and then the one that's just right there. But this was a great Jupiter's Claim. That's what it was. This is a great fake out though, with it turning out to be just kids. Like it's Ricky's kids. Like, whew, that was. What did you think of the scene? I'm not. I know I was very scared, but I could just have been over exaggerating.
I think it's a good use of the kids, honestly, to like just scare. They're just the right size to actually
Hmm.
psycho person out.
Yeah, and I mean it's just like, I obviously it's probably Ricky that sent them over. Clearly, after she like, I guess I forgot to explain that M stole a fake horse. It was a statue of a horse from Jupiter Claim, and and the UFO sucks up that the statue. Um and so that's why Ricky sent his kids to mess with them over here, because it's insinuated throughout and or in it that um Ricky knows about the UFO. So that's why so they have like a slight competition between each other trying to like profit off of the UFO. So, but spoiler alert, does not end well for Ricky. Does not end well for Ricky. Yeah.
I guess you could say his soul got sucked out.
Yeah. I will say it is nice that like all like they stole obviously from them, stole a statue of a horse, and it is nice that all they did for revenge is like scare him real quick and that's it. Whereas in other movies they would like probably bring it overboard or something like that. So, but yeah. Ready for the next one? It's a traumatizing one.
Let's go.
Jesus, that is traumatizing. Ricky relives the trauma that led up to where he is now during filming of a TV sitcom with a chimp. As a character, the chimp goes berserk and attacks the cast as well as the studio audience. But Ricky, as a child, hid under a table, and while Gordy did find him, he doesn't seem to want to hurt Ricky. So yeah, this is very bloody. So, like, there's a lot of blood in this scene. So, but earlier in the movie, Ricky explains. So that is Ricky. He was a child star and he was on this sitcom. Um, but basically, uh, very messed up. They used a real, like, in the world, they used a real chimp, um, and stuff, which it's very dangerous to use real animals in filming movies and stuff like that. Yeah, that's why you need animal trainers and all that. And even still, sometimes they just don't listen. They are animals. And so this was one of those times where an animal just goes on a rampage because of it. And so they kill a lot of the audience and hurt a lot of the cast as well, or kill the cast. But yeah, this scene we actually see in the beginning of the movie. It just doesn't get explained until now.
I
Um,
believe we see it 3 times.
Yeah, we do see it 3 times. So, um, and it isn't until this scene that we understand the context of it. I'm not gonna lie, I totally thought Ricky was just lying when he was showing the museum to M and OJ, because he has like a museum of like different things from this occurrence, and people like are fascinated with it, as including him, even though he lived through this, even though he had to go through this traumatizing thing. And in the museum, actually, there's a picture of his name. They named the monkey's name is Gordy. They have a picture of Gordy and Ricky like fist bumping and stuff like that. And so this is where, if you see that picture, now you see this little scene and you kind of get the full context of it. Yeah. Yeah. And then he gets shot because it's kind of has to happen, sadly. But yeah. Okay. We'll watch this very traumatizing scene one more time before moving on to the next one. But what did you think? What did you think of the scene?
I like it. I think it's very like nicely shot from like
Mm-hmm.
the child's perspective and everything.
Yeah.
And I like the CGI on the monkey. It looks nice.
It is very nice. It's bad, kind of, because obviously I should like feel bad. I do feel bad in the scene, but also like watching the animation for the monkey makes me very excited for the next Planet of the Apes movie, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. So I'm all like, ooh, this just actually makes me excited for that. Um, Not the feeling I should be feeling, but yeah. And like you said, you see it like 3 times throughout the movie. Um, and this one gives like the context of everything, because you see it from this angle. I don't think you see the tablecloth in the first and second time, but it makes it seem like just it's being like, it looks like it's just being filmed. It's not an actual care, and then we find out that this is actually from Ricky's perspective. So, but yeah. Well, and even him, like, just him playing with that shoe, like him not like he's an animal. He doesn't realize he did anything bad right now. He's just all like now he's all like, okay, now that we're done playing, play with me more, or something like that. Like, but yeah, it's just a very creepy scene, I would say. It is actually like chilling. Like if you had to go through this like experience, this would be terrifying. So yeah. But like I was saying, I totally thought Ricky was like lying. I don't know why. I thought he was lying when he was saying that he was a part of the cast and stuff like that. Because I thought he was just
I
like a
mean,
show.
with the way yeah, the
Yeah,
way he carried himself was saying that, yeah, obviously looks like he would be lying about that.
yeah. Like I thought he would. Well, I just was all like, oh, he's a showman, so it's all like, of course he would say that he went through this traumatic experience, but is lying. But turns out he did. So and it very much warped how he feels and stuff like that. And like you said, he feels as though he's kind of invincible after that. Um, but we'll move on to the next scene, which is It's a Giant Hat. Ricky and his family put on a special event at the Cowboy theme park after having seen the UFO each night for 6 months. They have people come to see it, but turns out they will get more than they bargained for when the UFO does show up. So, yeah, we'll click it. So that scene actually happens right before this scene. So like we get the full flashback right before this scene. So it's actually like back to back of what we're about to of seeing. But
Stay in your seats. This is new. They're early.
They're giving us a real show today.
That they are. They're giving us a real show today. They're ready, we're ready.
but yeah. But I do like how what you said in the beginning about his character, how he feels as though he is untouchable or something like just has that feeling that he could do anything kind of thing just because he survived that one traumatic experience. And so this scene
He
kind of
feels like
show
he's above everybody.
yeah. And so this scene kind of shows that no, he can't. He doesn't truly understand. Um, just because he went through one traumatic experience doesn't mean he understands what he's going through. Also, that's his co-star. She's the one that was getting her face beat in the last scene, and so that's why her face is all. Um, it had to be like basically grafted back on.
I feel like both of them are like going into territory they're not supposed to, still messing with the things they're not supposed to, even though they went through such a bad experience.
Yeah, they're yeah. So they went through. So it's kind of like not learning from your mistakes. They've already gone through this traumatic experience of um with Gordy, but they still I I don't feel like I feel bad for the girl with like the like messed up face because like she was probably just invited to this and wasn't explained what it's going to be. But Ricky for sure just did not learn his lesson through it because he wasn't one of the ones that was injured. So, but yeah. So that's what happens when you put on a show for when you're all like, "Oh, hey, I'll show you a UFO," and then it shows up.
Playing with fire is a dangerous thing.
Mm-hmm. So, but I guess I guess I forgot that you don't actually see it until OJ comes later. Um, Basically, right before this scene's happened, OJ told M that he's gonna go get Lucky back, which is that black horse there, that named Lucky. Um, and so he comes after what this happens, and sees that everybody's gone, and all that. So, and that's when you get like a clear view of what the UFO is. So, yeah. Essentially, it just looks like his hat that he's wearing right now, right? Like that's what it looked like to me.
I mean, a little. I can see
Hmm.
it.
But yeah. But I do like how you brought up like he's doing something he shouldn't be doing. Like he's already gone through a very traumatic experience, but he's going to go through it again just for because he didn't learn his lesson and stuff like that. I didn't even think of that, to be truthful, when I was watching it, but it makes a lot of sense now.
It's all for entertainment after all.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. And this, like, it's not fully confirmed yet until obviously OJ shows up later. As it turns out, the UFO is not a UFO. It is actually an alien. It is like obviously both OJ and Ricky believed that like, oh, it was just a ship and there was aliens inside. No, the ship is the alien. It is a living thing. It's a living animal. So, but yeah. So, that leads us to our second to last one. We got this and one more. It has opposite boo mechanics. I made this like at 11 o'clock, close to midnight. What I meant by that was it's like the opposite of like King Boo or Boo's from Mario. Um, where in Mario you have to look at the thing for them to stop. The giant alien in this one is if you look at it, uh, it attacks you. So you have to not be looking at it. It's kind of weird. I don't understand. I know there's a metaphor there. I just don't really understand it. I'm very bad at picking up metaphors. So, um, but yeah.
I'm worse.
Yeah, I'm just metaphors are not my forte. So if anyone has an idea of what that metaphor is, please put it in chat so that we know. Um, After the terrifying display at the Starlight Show, OJ believes he knows how the creature works. So with the help of M, Angel, and the videographer Antlers, the four decide to get the impossible shot, the one that will get them all on Oprah and get fame and glory. So this is not the first time we see or like see Antlers. Um, she does. M calls him earlier in the movie, but he says no, and then she kind of calls him again, or no. Then he sees the
No, he
news.
calls her back.
What's up?
He calls her back.
Yeah, yeah. He sees the news and sees what happened at Jupiter Claim. So then he calls her back. So but yeah, and so basically Angel, like all four of them put together a plan on how they're going to film the animal or the creature, and so Antler had to like make one that it doesn't like have power or anything like that. And they also went and stole all these waving inflatable or wacky inflatable waving arm tube men. like those things that you see at car dealers, um, so that they know where the creature is because they run on power. So if they go off, that means that's where the creature is. And they have faces as well, so that they can hide in the crowd and stuff like that. So, but yeah. But of course, while they're setting this stuff up, some guy from TMZ shows up to like film what's going on here, and because of that, he's on a electric motorcycle, and then he crashes because he hits the barrier of like the electricity, and so he like gets very severely injured, and OJ tries to save him, but as we just saw, he cannot. So it's a very ingenious plan, like setting up all the tube men so that they can monitor where the alien is by just like them turning on and off. So, but yeah. But so OJ figured out that if you look at it, it comes for you, but if you don't look at it, it leaves you, like, doesn't eat you. Because, like I said, it is like an animal and stuff like that. And it doesn't matter if it's a fake face or a real face. So, like, even the tube men are confusing it. So. I do like that they just put like fake eyes on the back of the hoodie just to make it look like they're looking at him. And it like confuses them, the alien. Yeah. I think this scene is like very tense. What about you?
I agree, it is very tense. It got me actually worried for him.
I know, right?
I was hoping he doesn't actually die.
Mm-hmm. And I see a horse. Yes, there is a horse. And look, there's an alien.
The horse is yeah.
Ida. But yeah. And as you could see, they even put like even a horse, like the eyes of horses, like will draw it towards them. So or will draw it towards them. And so, but, and earlier in the movie when the creature ate, that statue, it like really messed up its gut. And it had that colorful, like, thing on it, the colorful strands, like flags on it. And so now it like avoids anything that has like pretty flags on it, like rainbow flags on it. But yeah. I do like that OJ just kind of leaves him because he's all like, well, you're screwed.
Oh well, goodbye then.
Mm-hmm. But yeah. Overall, it's a pretty cool plan. I think it is a very cool plan, but also very tense just because it's like somebody needs to be out riding around. Take like
And dangerous too.
it is, yeah. And like trying to like keep the alien preoccupied and all that. But yeah. It is very well like written and stuff like that. So and I guess it slowly digests them or something, because like you can hear the screams even hours later. Haunts. I like
I
that
think it's
Duke.
like a snake. It takes them a while.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it is big, so you know, it probably has a big intestinal system. So I like that Duke and Murphy are both interested in just the horse. They're like horse.
We'll see.
It is. I mean, it is a beautiful horse. I do like that. I do like that it's named Lucky, and it's the one horse that actually does survive. So
Thankfully, yes.
yes, I'm just because I'm a cowboy. I know, Duke. I know you are. I know you are interested in the horse because you're a cowboy. Wow. Yeah. I don't. It we'll see it in a set. Like the next scene shows it basically evolves. The alien like evolves, and it becomes very pretty looking.
Yeah,
And
it
I'm like,
transforms its form to make you look at it.
yeah, just like a peacock. And use the tail of it. So there's a lot of, just like in all of Jordan Peele's like Get Out and Us. There's a lot you can like you need to interpret, and you can interpret your own way and stuff like that. So these always make good like movies to discuss with people, just because there's so much that goes into it that you can. There's so much to show. Okay, so this is the last clip we have. So and so we're almost done with Nope, but we got the Oprah shot. After the plan goes wrong, OJ decides to sacrifice himself so that M can get away and tell their story. But M realizes not only can she take down the monster that has been terrorizing them, but she can even get the shot that was otherwise known as impossible. Um, there's a bit more that happened to this. Like, obviously, the plan does go wrong, just like every movie. The plan can never go right. Um, and basically, what happens is Antlers decides that even though they fully filmed it and got a very clean shot, it's not like
Enough
the
for him?
yeah, it's not like enough for him. He needs the truly impossible shot, which would be him getting which would be the inside of the creature. So he basically like makes it that he gets eaten. But in doing so, he almost gets Angel eaten, who wraps him like he gets thrown around, and then wraps himself in barbed wire so that he doesn't get pulled in, or at least when he gets pulled in, the creature like spits him out, which it does work, and Angel is alive. But my God, that would hurt so much, and
Yeah,
so
that scene genuinely got me worried that he will die.
it was yeah, and so Antlers gets eaten. Um, I'm sure they still got like I don't think it ate the film, so I'm sure they still have maybe the film or something.
Hopefully.
Hopefully. But it doesn't matter cuz obviously OJ decides to sacrifice himself so that M can run away. But M then like gets the monster to follow her, and she takes the electric motorcycle that videographer like that one TMZ guy was on, and gets OJ far enough away that she can start the bike and start driving away. Then she looks at the creature so that it follows her. And then she goes to Jupiter Claim and like releases the big balloon that is there. But this is actually This is actually pretty cool. Not gonna, the winking well is a. I would love to do that for like a tour, like a tourist trappy thingy. Like it's actually pretty ingenious of a fun thing.
I need to have that in real life.
I know, right? But I mean, luckily we know Angel survives, so there's that. But and we get a very clean shot. So that the like Nina already said, it changes form and makes itself look more appealing to look at, so that people will look at it. Which I also didn't really understand. It just turned into like a jellyfish to me, and I was all like, "Ooh, jellyfish," and that was about it. I didn't put two and two together there.
Honestly, I would fall for this and I would just die to it.
Oh, yeah, probably. I'd probably fall for it too. But yeah. As you can see, the alien is like, it wants to eat it because, oh, it's looking at me. So clearly it's a thing, like a real human. But it has those flags on it, so it's like being cautious. But luckily, once they, like, I think what it does there is it like moves upwards to see if it will follow it. But because of the but because it's like flapping wings and like moving wind around, it makes it that the balloon looks at it still and like moves. So it's all like, oh, so clearly it's a real human. And then it eats it. And because it's just a big thing of air, it's actually a very simple way for them to kill the alien. Like, it just explodes because of all the air pressure. I'm gonna have to. It has to. Like, I think Jordan Peele got a ton of inspiration from Jaws with this movie, because this is exactly how Jaws ends as well. Spoiler alert for that old movie. Not that old, but
It is pretty old.
yeah. So we'll watch the clip one more time. But yeah. What do you think of? What did you think of this like ending?
Honestly, it's a very nice ending. It's a
It
simple yet realistic.
it is, yeah. And I mean, the only spoiler alert, we think OJ is dead. OJ's not dead. We see OJ, which actually could be. It could be OJ actually is dead. It like once again, it's one of those It's one of those endings you get to interpret it a lot. He could still be dead, and she's just like hallucinating him, or he's actually alive. I'm gonna go with the more happy solution, in that he's actually alive. Um, but she sees him right at the end of the movie. And like, so the only two like name worthy characters that die are Ricky, who dies of his own fallacy, and Antlers, who did it because he wanted to get the truly impossible shot of being eaten. So. Yeah. It's a very, like Nina said, it's a very simple scene, but a very effective scene, because like, and very realistic, because it's not like this alien understands like stuff that we have on Earth. It doesn't understand what a giant inflatable balloon is, which is more than likely filled with helium. So And while it does like stop, like it does question and be like, is this a real thing? It's very easily tricked. So but yeah. And so M's able to get that Oprah shot, so they can all get, you know, a ton of money. Yeah. They can that way they can all get a ton of money and not have to lose the ranch. So I don't know if I'd want to stay at the ranch after this.
After that event, definitely.
Yeah.
But who knows?
But yeah. But yeah. And so the movie ends literally like right after this. The basically the film like news and stuff show up, and then M sees OJ. Either he's actually there, or she's just seeing a hallucination. We don't know. It's left to interpretation, but yeah. Overall, I think it's a great movie. It's very fun. It's very good, and definitely should watch it if you have the time, and then probably also watch Get Out and Us as well. So, um, like I said, I don't think it's as strong as those other two movies, but it's still a good time. Like it's very well written. It's very good. So, but yeah, what are your final thoughts on it, Nina?
Honestly, a great written movie. It's pretty unique with the alien stuff. It
Yeah,
doesn't show them as like the same old intelligent, can mind manipulate you, all that. It shows them as actual like animals as well, which
yeah,
gives them like a lot more character. And I'll definitely watch the other two in the trilogy for this.
nice. Yeah, I'll probably end up watching them too. Um, but yeah, it's just it seems to be very heavily influenced by Jaws because of just how it works. Even the ending, how she defeats it, is just also exactly how they kind of beat Jaws, except change the um oxygen tank to a giant balloon. So, but it's not a bad thing that it's inspired by Jaws. So, but yeah. So that was Austin Powers and Nope. Overall, I loved both of these movies. Both were very good, and I had a great time watching them. So, yeah. Uh, this is usually where we would spin the wheel, but like I said, this is we're gonna only keep it now to one, since it's been a lot doing for like for a while now, since we were doing 2 times of movie club a month, which is like 4 movies. It's gotten a little bit much, so we're gonna just bring it down to one day. We're doing 2 movies. I'll still do like a bring your own subscription so we can watch the movies together, but we're gonna cut it down to one day. So this is basically the end of movie club for today, but I had a ton of fun. I hope you did too, Nina.
I did. It was very fun.
Yeah, and so um but yeah, thank you everybody for coming and watching. Let me see who's on real quick. I don't know if anyone's on that that we know. Um eh. Well, I'm going to be on. I'm going to be back in like an hour or two. I just gotta take care of a few things, but I'm gonna be playing Persona 3 on stream. But so we're gonna call stream here and we'll pick it up in a few hours. But it was a ton of fun. I had a great time doing all this, and I hope everybody enjoyed watching, and I'm glad everyone came out. And it was fun being able to talk about these 2 movies. And as always, thank you, Nina. I always very much appreciate it when you come on and talk with me. So
I'm just happy to be here.
Thanks for the stream. Had stream in the background. Nice. I hope everyone had a good time with it as well. So, well, we'll call it for here. I'll pick it up back up in a couple of hours. But thank you and have a good rest of your day, night, whatever your time zone is, and we'll see you again later. See ya.